Let me start with a story, and I want you to picture yourself in it because you are the main character. You're standing in line at a coffee shop pretending you're calm, that fake calm we all do, the I'm a balanced adult performance, while inside you're one inconvenience away from losing it completely. You're waiting, patient, controlled, until the person in front of you starts asking questions. Normal questions. Questions like, do you have almond milk? Oh, the brand that doesn't upset my stomach. And suddenly something clicks inside you, your jaw tightens, your soul leaves your body, and before you know it, you're whispering under your breath, bro, just order, this is coffee, not a marriage proposal. But here's the twist. You finally get to the front, and guess what? You hesitate, you stumble, you fumble the order. Congratulations, you've just become the person you were judging 20 seconds ago. And you don't even notice. Your brain slides that contradiction under the rug like a teenager hiding dirty dishes under the bed. Fast forward, you're with your partner and they do something small, something normal like sigh, and you snap, wow, judging me again? But the tone? Bro, that tone has more judgment than a courtroom full of judges. Or maybe you hate closed-minded people, hate them with passion, yet present you with a new idea you don't like, and suddenly you turn into the rigid wall you swore you'd never be. These contradictions, these little moments of, I would never do that, followed by doing exactly that, are not accidents. They're fingerprints, windows into the parts of yourself you swear don't exist. Carl Jung called it the shadow. Freud called it reaction formation. You call it denial, and yet, even while denying it, you're literally becoming the thing you hate. Let me tell you something uncomfortable but necessary. The traits that piss you off the most are secretly shaping who you become. Not because you're weak, not because life is trolling you, but because of a mechanism as old as humanity itself. I call it the mirror principle, and it's been running your identity from the shadows without your permission. Here's how it traps you. First, hypervigilance. Once your brain decides a trait is dangerous, it starts scanning the world like a hyper-alert detective. Hate arrogance, suddenly everyone's arrogant to you, even the barista saying good morning. Despise dishonesty, now everyone looks shady, even your cat. Your brain creates this internal radar that constantly scans for exactly the trait you're trying to avoid. And here's the punchline. What you focus on becomes your world. Not because it's everywhere, but because you are looking everywhere. Next, internalization. Here's the trap most people never see. The brain doesn't care if you love or hate a behavior. If you focus on it, it studies it. Hate arrogance? Congratulations, your brain builds a 4K mental map of how arrogance works, its triggers, execution effects. And when you're stressed, tired, or emotionally hungry, your brain just clicks play, and suddenly you act exactly like the thing you swore you'd never become. You're not cursed, you're programmed by yourself. Finally, unconscious mimicry. Humans copy, mirror, absorb, not always on purpose, often emotionally. The more emotionally charged the behavior, the more you absorb it. Hate selfishness. The moment it triggers you, your brain locks on like an HDMI cable, syncing you to the behavior. That's why couples fighting for years slowly become more like each other. He hates her criticism, becomes critical. She hates his distance, pulls away. It's not drama, it's neuroscience. And after all this chaos, after all the times you said, I'm not like them, while slowly becoming like them, there's a way out. It sounds too soft, too gentle, almost illegal in the world of self-help. Ready? Radical acceptance. Not accepting the behavior, not letting people mistreat you, not becoming a doormat. I'm talking about accepting the potential inside you. The part that could be arrogant, judgmental, controlling, needy, selfish, whatever you hate, because the moment you accept it, it stops running your life from the shadows. Denial is gasoline, acceptance is water. When you say, I see the judgmental part of me showing up, that's human, you create distance, a gap, a pause between impulse and action. That pause is freedom. Few people ever discover it, but it's real, and it's yours the moment you acknowledge it. Here's the next step. Most people define themselves by what they refuse to be. I'll never be like my dad. I'm not arrogant. I'm not controlling. That's a trap. An identity built on opposition keeps you chained to the very thing you're trying to escape. Reaction, not creation. The alternative? Build yourself around values you choose. Not, I'm not arrogant, but I am intentionally humble. Not, I'm not controlling, but I trust others. Not, I'm not like them, but these are the values I embody. This is how you step out of your shadow, not by running from it, but by walking toward what you want to become. The mirror principle doesn't vanish once you see it. It gets subtler, hiding in the traits you're sure you don't have. You swear you're not manipulative? Look again. You swear you never need validation? Look again. Every strong emotional reaction is a signal, an arrow pointing to disowned parts of yourself. And when you integrate them, your vision becomes clearer, your relationships calmer, your confidence deeper. You stop fighting ghosts, stop shadowboxing yourself, and finally, you act from choice, not unconscious programming. Most people will never get here. They'll spend their whole lives fighting the parts of themselves they pretend not to have, and those parts will win. But you've seen behind the curtain, glimpsed the mechanism shaping identities from the dark. Now the question is, will you keep letting the mirror shape you, or will you finally choose who you become? Every moment of judgment, every irritation, every ugh, why is this person like this, is an invitation. The parts of yourself you fight hardest against are the parts shaping your life. Recognize them, integrate them, and you'll finally live in freedom, clarity, and authenticity.